Katy Perry is out. Well, next season. This is her last season. This is what I think. I'm going to tell you what I think about how she left and who I think should replace her. How she left. On Jimmy Kimmel a couple nights ago, she mentioned that this would be her last season on American Idol. He asked her what the other judges think about that, if they're staying or going or what's going on. And she said, I don't know. I haven't talked to them yet. I guess they'll find out tonight. Which, like, yeah, it's a talk show and she's being very casual and kind of throwing this job of an American Idol judge around a bit, in my opinion. I hope that she didn't handle this so flippantly, or as flippantly as she showed it on Jimmy Kimmel. It's a talk show. Things are candid. Great. But I hope she had more respect for the show than just kind of letting the producers and her fellow judges and everybody find out like this and not really care about it. Here's who I think should replace her. I've heard some names, and some names I've heard I'm like, absolutely not. And some names I'm like, wow, that would actually be a great idea. And then I have some names myself that no one's talking about, and I don't know how. So here are my list of candidates for Katy Perry's replacement in order from least favorite to favorite. Grand Slam. This would be a potential revival of the entire show. Here we go. Number 7, we have Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is on this list because her name has come up online and people are talking about her as a potential replacement. I would sell my whole house and become homeless if this happens. When I was on the show, I heard many stories in the theme of horror about Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey as judges, and some say it was the demise of the entire show and beginning of the fall. I probably agree. I didn't really watch those seasons, so I can't say, and I wasn't really paying attention that much. But I don't think the producers would want her back. Honestly, I don't think she would want to come back. And I don't think it would be good for the viewers or for the ratings in general. So I don't think there's any way that she is the next judge to replace Katy. After her, number 6, Shakira. When I first heard Shakira's name, I was thinking, no. And then I stopped and thought a little bit. And I realized the only reason I said no was because I don't personally love the way that she sings. But then I started thinking, that doesn't really matter. You don't become a great judge because of how good you can sing. I mean, Jennifer Lopez was my favorite judge on my season, and compared to Keith Urban and Harry Connick Jr., was the least musically gifted of those two mega giants and monsters in music. She was by far my favorite judge. So what does Shakira bring to the table? A ton of experience. She's beautiful. Like J-Lo, knows what looks good, knows what doesn't, knows what sounds good and what doesn't. What kind of elements lead to a great, entertaining performance? Sometimes when you have judges who are just focused on the musical stuff, like Harry Connick Jr. can act, he can sing, he can play, he can do anything. He has great shows. But when people like Harry or even Keith are very musically focused, that's the way they get to the goods. That's the way they have great performances, is via that lane. With Jennifer Lopez or Shakira or tons of other brilliant artists in the day, they made great performances by tapping into all of the other elements that brings the art that is music to such a high, emotionally authentic connection, that kind of level that makes it so special, because it's actually not just about talent and skill. It's about so many other things. So she could be a great judge like J-Lo was for American Idol in that regard. The next person, Dua Lipa, is a name that I've heard thrown around. I think Dua Lipa would be good. I don't know if she would have such a giant draw like even Nicki Minaj, but like J-Lo or Shakira or some other big stars. But she's been blowing it up in the pop world, and she's been infusing this dry bass, super funky sound into pop music lately, and I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it. And she's a songwriter. So she knows what she's doing. She's not just the singer that they prop up. She's writing these songs. She's very talented, has a lot of experience. She could bring a lot of value as a judge. Next, we have Tori Kelly. Tori Kelly is known as one of the greatest singers alive. American Idol fans love great singers. So I would think that the same kind of fans that love to watch American Idol also love Tori Kelly. So you've got that pull from the demographic. She's also going to bring you some of the greatest, potentially some of the greatest singing critique that you could ask for, because she's one of the greatest on the planet. And she's not just great because of her acrobatics and runs that she can do. She's a brilliant songwriter and producer, and has evolved her music career and her sound through the past 10, 15, 20 years to be something that it doesn't just flash and go away, but sustain. I think people would love her. She's also beautiful. Number 3. Who do I have as number 3? J-Lo. I think J-Lo would be interesting to have back. She was, like I said, was my favorite judge. She always had this connection with the singer. It's like when you are a singer and you're really plugged in to the song and the performance, it's like you go in this other dimension. And it's just you and this musical dimension, right? J-Lo always found this way as a judge when everyone else was just watching and ready for critique. She found a way to jump in that vortex with you and show up on the other side. And in this musical dimension that you were in, you would open your eyes and you'd look around and she's right there with you. And she gets it. I know that sounds hippie and woo-woo, but that's exactly how it felt. She gave this motherly presence to the room when she sang. And I'll be honest with you, I don't miss singing for Keith Urban. I don't miss singing for Harry Connick Jr. I miss singing for J-Lo. Because of that, I would love to just sing for her. As weird as that sounds, but she has something that makes the contestant want to sing better and connect. Number 2, Miley Cyrus. I think Miley Cyrus would be a slam dunk. She's a great singer. She is uber experienced, jumped into this business at a very young age, like a lot of these contestants will be doing. Everyone I've talked to that has worked with her, love her. They love her. And the people that I've talked to don't always have good things to say about people. And I've never heard a bad word about Miley Cyrus. I remember watching a cut of Wrecking Ball, the music video. There was one cut where they just showed the shot that had her close up, just looking directly into camera and singing and emoting. And she was crying and snotting, and the emotion was so real. That is a lost, forgotten art when it comes to singing. So many singers will just, they're singing a sad song, they put on a sad face and sing the song. They're singing a happy song, they put on a smile and sing the happy song. But just like an actor or an actress in a scene, in a movie, there's so much depth to be had that you can use in the performance that take it to a whole new level. She is an all-star at this and could potentially bring that level of performance to these contestants. And she's a superstar. I think it'd be pretty cool. I think she'd be slam dunk. But she would not be as good as my number 1. I think There's no one else who could be better. I think it would be a huge get and could possibly revive the show if they got Kelly Clarkson to take Katy's place. Kelly Clarkson not only is hilarious and very personable and loves people and has had a talk show for a while, so she's good at talking. I know that sounds weird, but that is a skill that you have to have, especially as a judge, when you have to say something. You have to interact with, almost said students. You have to interact with contestants as much as possible. She'd be good at that. Also, she has all the experience in the world. Also, she would be a massive poster child for look what American Idol can do. She was the original superstar American Idol winner. No other show has ever had a Kelly Clarkson. No other show has ever had a Carrie Underwood or a Jordan Sparks go down the line. And she might be the biggest of them all. I think it's a slam dunk. And I would love to hear anybody tell me someone who would be better than her. Feel free to do so in the comments. The Idol Breakdown is where I review every single episode of American Idol. And American Idol opens this Sunday, February 18th. The next night, February 19th, I'll be releasing an Idol Breakdown video. We're coming back for season 5. It's going to be a blast. It comes out at 6 o'clock Central. My videos do on Monday nights. The best way to watch these is the premiere. You can watch it with everyone else watching it, and right when it comes out, and I'll be there too. And then right after that premiere, this is the really cool part about being in the premiere, there's a Q&A where it's a live stream that I just have on YouTube, and I open it up to questions. And for super chats, you can ask a question, and every single person who does a super chat will have their question answered. So if you want questions about what it was like behind the scenes, what anyone that you think I missed in the show, or anything that you disagreed with, you can absolutely have your question answered. No risk involved. 100% will answer your question. So those are the things going on. Here we come. Already a lot happening, and we haven't even started yet. Buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride.